I can't anymore. I can't anymore. It's a great time to be a ReZero fan. Let's just be perfectly honest. We had a fantastic episode. Episode 62 of ReZero was so freaking good. Enough that I did an almost 30-minute impressions review of the actual episode. There was just so much to dig into. Some great moments from Amelia. Her stepping up and doing some amazing stuff. Beating the crap out of Regulus. But we also got... yes, more botched translations from Crunchyroll, and really bad stuff. Enough that, yes, I'm going to talk about it. I don't normally talk about mistranslations, but whenever it actually affects the story, that's kind of important. And then, yes, we got a character reveal in ReZero Break Time. Yes, a new character pops up in the ReZero shorts for some reason. I don't know the importance of the character, but we'll get to that. But anyways, let's dive into the mistranslation. Because again, I think it's very important for those that are unfortunately watching it on Crunchyroll and being misled as to what exactly happened. But yeah, apparently while, Amelia is beating the fire out of Regulus, on the Crunchyroll's translation, they had him say, "How do you people have the authority of greed? My authority." That is incredibly wrong. That is an incredibly wrong translation if anybody's missing this. And it's unfortunate that it's one of those things where some people may be led to thinking that's actually true. That upon Subaru and Amelia beating greed, or Regulus, he's going to claim that they have taken his authority, which is not correct. He's literally not saying that. The actual translation, or at least the Muse translation that I got to use, was essentially saying, "What did you scoundrels do to my authority as greed?" But yes, they basically have destroyed it. What have you done to my authority of greed to my rights? Which that's a typical thing that he likes to say. Regulus likes to say that a lot. He says, "What are you doing to my rights? You're stepping on my rights. You're taking my rights." But for some reason now, Crunchyroll wants to translate it to my authority. Why do you have my authority of greed? It doesn't make any sense. And again, like I said, logically, some people can believe that that is true because back what happened with Petalgoose. When Subaru beat Petalgoose, he gained the unseen hands. And so with this translation being so botched, it can mislead people into thinking something happened that did not really happen. And like I said before, I don't like to usually pick on translations. It's like whatever. But at the same time, whenever it misleads the people that are watching it into thinking that some really crazy plot twist just happened, and there is sort of a precedent set already, it can cause people to be a bit confused here. So it's really bad. It's really bad translation, but I just wanted to get that out of the way, get people informed on that so you know not to think and go some crazy theory crafting with that whole idea there. It is what it is, but that aside, let's get into the actual ReZero Break Time, which again reveals a new character that I hope we get more of. But again, at the same time, just based on what a couple people have kind of chirped here and there, it sounds like they didn't really assume that this character would be even in the anime, which makes me believe that she might be a side character or possibly something from the game. I don't know. But yes, we get the reveal of Diaz. Chef Diaz has popped into the show. We cut over to Petra. She is still at the Rosewall estate, and she's looking around to try to find the chef that apparently has run away. Apparently, they're currently still gathering people for the Amelia party, and then she's looking around for the chef that ran away. Ram has told her to go find her, and eventually she stumbles upon the chef, who's in a very compromising position, stuck in a bush. It's a very compromising position. It's one that's out of certain different shows. But anyways, yes, this chef is named Diaz Lepunzo Alamanzo Oplane, or Aplan, or Plane, Fotzbaum the Sixth. Yes, apparently there is at least 6 of these people with this crazy name. But I don't know, based on how pompous this character reminds me of Kishirika. She totally reminds me of Kishirika. For those that have not watched Mushoku Tensei, there is this demon empress, and she's just absolutely full of herself. It's really the later parts of this break time when Diaz is like, puffing herself up. I'm like, she reminds me of Kishirika. She really does. And which makes sense because, again, these two authors from Mushoku Tensei and ReZero, they seem to talk a lot. They seem to be like they're on good terms with each other. So probably some inspiration back and forth there with certain characters. But yeah, apparently, yes, she finds her, pulls her out. Come to find out, she apparently is trying to run from a situation that she doesn't like. It seems to be her whole shtick is that whenever she runs into a situation she doesn't like, she says that it was a terrible situation. That's why I ran away. I don't want to have anything to do with it. And so whenever that happens, I typically run away. And yeah, that's when Petra is trying to bestow upon her a little bit of knowledge, which this is great because I think with Petra's character, one of the things I liked about her character is, yes, initially it's just more of the little sister character that, yes, Subaru goes to this village, helps save the village. Petra really likes him for basically risking his life in order to save her. The bandana thing or the headband for him and all that kind of stuff, really cute. But obviously what Subaru has done for Petra has instilled a lot into her, and I think a lot of that has to do with kindness, extending your hand, not turning your back upon others, and helping other people. And it does seem like she's kind of, passing that on, paying that forward, and doing the same thing that he did to her for other people. But additionally, there seems to be a lot in here about Ram and how she is sort of guiding Petra, because obviously Petra is now a maid, and Ram is the head maid. But it's really cute because I had the same feeling with Oto's short, with the break time with Oto, and it briefly cuts over there, and you get a sense that Ram and Oto together, but they're sort of setting boundaries. They're setting what they're going to be doing going forward, and with that whole situation, it was a lot to do with Rosewall, how they're going to deal with Rosewall, where Ram is going to be trusting, Oto is not going to be trusting. That's their kind of situation they set up. And here, yes, it's kind of Ram bestowing her own views on how to help people upon Petra. And it seems to be a lot to do with the idea of keeping your eyes open, keeping your chin up, basically. Always be looking ahead of you, never show that weakness, never bending yourself, keep to your fate, keeping your eyes open. And that's what she's trying to now instill upon this chef who decided to run away and is trying to run away now. It's kind of interesting because, yes, that's the whole idea that Petra's telling her, like, you're turning your back on people. You shouldn't run away from situations because eventually people aren't going to help you. If you're constantly not helping other people, if you're constantly turning your back on people, it seems like that's your shtick. Eventually you're going to need help and you're not going to get it. So stop running away. So yeah, it's a very brief kind of concept here, and her determination in showing it to this DS, apparently it inspires her, makes her, that she likes that expression, likes what Petra's kind of saying to her. And so she says, "You're going to dinner, right? Let me teach you a lesson. I'm going to invite you to heaven." Apparently she's a really good cook. And so they go off. But yeah, the interesting thing about DS herself, again, I like her kind of attitude, really goofy, again, very Kishirika. But the big thing that stood out to me was twofold. One, I thought she was going to be somehow related to Amelia. She looks like Amelia when Amelia used to have that cloak. Now, these are chibi characters, obviously, but she has the pointy ears. So a question mark, is she a half-elf? I don't know. And I mean, that would make sense why she would be at the Rosewall Estate. It doesn't seem like the Rosewall Estate wants to discriminate against half-elves. But yeah, she has pointy ears. The assumption that she might be a half-elf. Now, there could be demon races and whatnot in this world that just have pointy ears, but not, elf ears, really long ears. But the assumption is that she might be a half-elf. And again, the other thing that is that she has a cloak that's very similar to what Amelia had a long time ago. When we first met Amelia, she had this hood on. And yes, a lot of that could have been to cover her ears, but it also could have been for her journey and whatnot through the snow where her hometown is. So I don't know. I don't know if it's implying that she might be from the same place that Amelia is from, if she's somehow related to Amelia. Obviously not, because her name is Diaz Lapunzo El Almanzo Alplan Fotzbaum the Sixth. But I'd be curious to see any more information on her. And again, based on the fact that I'm hearing chirps that people were surprised that, she's even in the anime, makes me believe that she's probably just side story stuff. Or it's possibly that she's just kind of introduced in the story way later, and people just didn't assume that she'd be, introduced this early. Because again, she's apparently supposed to be a chef for the Rosewall Estate, so we imagine we meet her eventually. But anyways, that's it. That's pretty much it of this episode of ReZero Break Time. And again, botched translations. I just want to get on here mostly just to kind of talk about the botched translation, and again, talk about this new character. It's very interesting. I don't really, again, like the idea of introducing characters in a short, but at the same time, I think we've come to accept the idea of skip content and stuff in the shorts. So I'm going to be here every week for it. So hope you guys enjoy this video. As always, as per usual, I do post a subtitled version of Break Time on my Twitter feed right when I get it. There's a gentleman that's on the Karakawa YouTube channel that will typically put timestamps in the Break Time episode on their channel, and I usually take that stuff, adjust some stuff, and then put it in the subtitles onto the video and post it up on Twitter. So x.com/otakuspirited with an ED at the end there. So check that out. I appreciate you guys' support. I hope you guys enjoy this video as always. If you like this video, hit the like button before you leave. Go down in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of the botched translation. What do you think of the introduction of this new character? Do you like Diaz? But I hope you guys enjoyed. And as per usual, if you like this content and you want to support channel more, I have links in the description below. Greatly appreciate it. Until next time, y'all take care.